Welcome, welcome everyone to the Show Up Win of the Week Zoom. I am loving Monday nights. I am loving being with all of my friends, seeing your smiling faces, hearing your wins, how you are showing up for yourself and for your goals. So like I said earlier, go ahead and turn on your video if you'd like to show your face. We find that people are more present, they get more takeaways, they really just get more out of the Zoom when you're showing up fully. So I invite you to start your video if you can. And I am going to throw it over to Mejken who is going to be running tonight. So take it away, Mejken.
Thanks, Amber. Hi, guys. How are you? I'm so excited that we get to be here together. I was on last week, and it was just so much fun to hear everybody's wins. And I just wanted to start out with a really quick thought. I don't know about you, but one of the themes that I've had with some of the people that are doing the 90-day show up challenge with me is we've just been discussing habits and habit loops specifically, and how interesting it is. I find it interesting, at least, that oftentimes we really have to re-examine the habits that we've created in our lives and whether or not they are serving us specifically right now when we're really, really focused on accomplishing some goals, whatever those might be for you guys. But just having these discussions over and over and over, specifically this week, about, okay, if you have this specific goal that you really want to show up in and continue to show up in, because in my opinion, you guys, this isn't just for 90 days. That's just the beginning of something that you're trying to accomplish. But are the habits that you're in right now serving you? And so I just wanted to go over the components of a habit loop really quickly in case somebody doesn't even know what it looks like to retrain your brain and create a brand new habit. Okay, so basically there's 3 sections to a habit loop, and the first one is the cue, or the trigger is what the word that I like to use, that helps your brain to know that you're going into some sort of experience in your life, or you're about to set your body into some sort of routine. Okay, I'm going to use an example. My 90-day show up challenge is a little unique. I just had major surgery. And so one of my goals is to really just take care of my body while I'm recovering from that surgery. And one of the things that the doctor told me that was that I had to do immediately, that was very important, but very easy. You guys, this is so embarrassing to admit. He put me on some supplements right after the surgery. And he said, you need to make sure that you take these every morning and every evening for a significant amount of time while your body's recovering. It's not something I'm going to do forever, right? But he said, you need to do it. You need to start it immediately and do it until I tell you that you're good and you don't need to anymore. And you guys, like, I was not in that habit. I was not in that habit at all. And so when he told me, I'm sad to admit that I forgot for the first couple of days because my brain wasn't in that habit. And so I decided, you know what? I need to have a new cue, right? Like, I need to get my brain into this habit loop because it's important for me to do. So my cue was every night before I went to sleep, I took the supplements out. I just, piled them all onto not my kitchen sink, my bathroom sink right there, where I would see them when I woke up in the morning. Because what's one of the first things you do when you wake up? Go to the bathroom, right? If you don't, you're lying. So I put them right there by my sink and said, okay, I'm going to see them. I'll take them. I can take them on an empty stomach. That's my cue. That was my trigger. So then my routine when I'd wake up is, oh, there's my supplements. I'm going to take them. And my immediate reward is what? My immediate reward for taking those and taking my body through that experience was that I felt better throughout the day. It's something that my body was depleted of, and I have to replace it right now. But my long-term investment, what I'm really working towards, is helping my body to function properly long-term. So I had a cue, sat it down by my kitchen sink, right? The routine or experience that I took my body through, or my mind, if you will, was I walk in there, I take those supplements, and the instant reward was, okay, like, I'm going to have what I need today. But the long-term investment is I'm taking care of my body and giving it what it needs, and it's going to function more properly in the long run, right? That's a new habit loop that I've been working on just now in the 90-day show up challenge. So I wanted to share that with you. I want you to think about that and be thinking and be really aware of, am I setting up the habit loops that I truly need to support my goals? It's pretty important. And if you have any wins related to that, I would love to hear those tonight as well. So let's just open it up. I would love to hear how it's been going and what you guys have found to be successful in this third week.
Mike, and I can share one while other people are finding their unmute button. I went on a girls' trip this last weekend, and my habit that I'm working on is meditation. And I actually missed a day. I planned to do it before I went to bed, and I didn't go to bed until after midnight. And so I missed that day. But Dr. A always says, if you miss one day, it happens, but never miss 2 days in a row when you're trying to build a habit. And so I made sure that next day I did my meditation. I got right back on track. I did not miss 2 days. So that is my win. That's the first day I missed since the beginning of the challenge, but I didn't miss 2.
I love that, Emmer. Do you mind telling us how it felt to just not go into that place where you missed 2 and you only missed 1, even on a girls' trip? You guys, she was having a fun time.
It felt really like I didn't make it mean something about me. I didn't make it mean, oh, I'm just terrible at meditation, or, oh, I'm just such a forgetful person, or I didn't make it like mean something about me. It was just like, well, that was weird. I've done it 18 days in a row, or however many days it's been. And I got off my routine. Okay, get right back on track. So that's the best thing I can say about it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I've actually used that phrase. That was weird. I ate that cookie. That was weird. Why did I do that? Not making it mean too much. Literally have said that out loud. That was weird. Why did I do that? And then I move on. Love that, Amber. Thanks for sharing. Who else? Yes, Linda, go ahead.
Hi, I had a really, really cool thing happen. When I first came into Optavia 2 years ago, July 14th, we were pretty much in COVID, and I didn't get out of the house that much, and it was pretty easy to be 5 and 1, super perfect 5 and 1. Now, probably nobody else in this group has got perfection issues, but trust me, I do. So I did really well, and I lost most of the weight that I wanted to lose. And then as COVID relaxed a little bit, we went out to dinner. If I didn't have a perfect, what I consider dinner, then it was like, well, I'm bad, I'm wrong. I'll just go blow it till the next day, which sometimes came a couple days later. And then I put some of the weight back on. Well, I've been working really hard to eliminate that perfectionism mentality. And the other night we went out to dinner, and I had something that was probably not exactly 5 and 1, but I ate a small amount of it, and it worked out pretty well. And the thought was, go to Dairy Queen because you blew it, you didn't do something perfect. And it was like, no, I don't want to go to Dairy Queen because I know what'll happen afterwards. I'll get leg cramps because I don't eat sugar. And now when I do eat it, I get a leg cramp, which is interesting. And I'll dislike myself in the morning. And so later on in the night, we were watching something, and my husband said, I want to have a cookie. And I was like, I've already even thought of that one too. But I said, no, I think I'm just going to have some water. This was major for me to actually change that and allow myself not to be so rigid of perfection that a tiny blip, and they were just tiny blips, would cause me to go off the rails for a day. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Linda, that's awesome. And I could just imagine you interrupting those habits of going to Dairy Queen or having that cookie with the water. I do have one more question for you. So it sounds like you drink that water later at night. So sometimes I like to think about, how did you feel the next day when you woke up knowing that you had your own back and you had shown up for your program or your goals? How did that feel?
As it does every time that I choose to be healthier, I felt fantastic. I jumped out of bed. I was ready.
Yeah.
Life.
Mm-hmm. I find that to be true. And the more that happens, the more that you have those experiences stacked on top of each other, it just gets easier and easier. That's so cool. Thanks for sharing. Somebody else. I love these, you guys. So fun.
I'll share something, Mejken.
Okay, Annie, thanks.
So I actually didn't start my 90-day challenge until last Monday when my kids went back to school. I just needed that, right? I just needed my kids gone so I could focus on me. And I just love the structure that I've added again after being just a little bit loose through the summer. And I just noticed that I'm just showing up more in other areas of my life. I just feel like I'm just a little more with it. And I'm just so grateful for just even those little tiny successes.
Yeah, it's so interesting how easy we can forget how it affects our goals or our health plan or how we're fueling our bodies affects every area of our life. That's so cool, Annie. Yay for kids being back in school. That's one fun reason. Somebody else. Sarah wrote in the chat, Annie equals arm goals. Yes. Maybe Annie needs to do a tutorial for us all.
Mejken, can you hear me?
Yeah. Is that Tony?
So, yeah, I just wanted to share one real quick for someone else actually who shared it with me today. She's doing the show up challenge, but driving right now, so I don't think it worked for her to hop on. But she has been on program about as well for 6 weeks now, and she's down 20 pounds, which is really awesome. And I was just blown away when she told me that today. And she's like, that's really impressive. And she's kind of surprised that I was so happy for her. And anyways, she's like, I guess I didn't notice it because I still have 180 to go. And for me, that seems daunting and seems so far away. And it made me think, how often do we fail to give ourselves credit, even though it may not seem like much in the moment, but you add it up over 90 days or even more than that, and you start to see it's a lot more than probably ever thought was possible in the beginning. And then she also mentioned this sweet lady lost her husband earlier this year, and she says, this is the first time I felt like I have taken control of something I have control over, which is her health. Too many things she doesn't have control over right now. Losing her husband was one of those. And so another big win right there.
Wow, that is amazing, Tony. Thank you so much. And make sure that you tell her from all of us on tonight's Zoom, congratulations. That is huge. Yes, and everybody's just writing in the chat that those little wins definitely build up to the big wins, and how often sometimes we can be putting our pedal to the metal, if you will, and we're not recognizing really, like when she said, really, is 20 pounds that much? You don't really recognize the movement that you're making in the direction that you want to. But when you sit back and you think about it long enough and you add it all up, it's like, wow, look at all that I've accomplished. That is amazing. You're going to have to keep us posted on her journey. Somebody else.
I'll share something, Mejken.
Awesome, Larry.
This is kind of a different thing to share, but I just noticed over the last 5 years of doing challenges from time to time, how often I would get in a place of the all or nothing. And I'd be like, oh, okay, wow, I just failed a little bit at my challenge. I'm just not going to pay attention anymore. And, or, just like, I'll just give up and I'll support other people kind of thing. But I'm really noticing this time I'm making progress and not having that perfectionist attitude and just doing You know, even if I feel like maybe I've missed maybe more than one day, like Amber, not allowing myself to check out and just acknowledging the progress that I'm making and how many days I am showing up as opposed to how many I wasn't before. I don't know if that even makes sense, but it's fun to switch from all or nothing to celebrating the progress and the little wins that you're making.
Yeah. And really, like when she was talking, you guys, I don't know if this is true of any of the rest of you, but I really feel like that's the mentality that it's going to take to go past the 90 days. Because honestly, isn't that what we want? Like, we're not showing up, Twyla, I see you nodding, thank you. We're not necessarily just like showing up, okay, let's do this for 90 days. I really feel like this is just the beginning. Like, this is just the jumping off point, and we're human, right? We're gonna eat that cookie, or we're gonna have that ice cream like Linda was talking about, and it's okay. Or we're gonna skip a day of meditation. That's okay. Like, really just, okay, let's pick up where I left off tomorrow. And it's not about perfection, it's about that progress. So I love that you brought that up, Larry. So true if we want to make it a long-term change. Awesome. Yeah, we're just working on creating those habits. Somebody else.
I can go.
Awesome.
So-
Darshan, is that you?
Yes, that's me. So since last year, I've been trying to get back to the gym, once I got to a healthy weight. I had a severe back injury and ended up getting, muscle atrophy because it was almost debilitating. I ended up getting the surgery. So I finally got the ability to get back in the gym. So last year, I had 3 different injuries while I was working out. So that kind of threw everything off. I had a partial rotator cuff tear. And then I popped a hernia. And then to add to that, I started having issues with my lower back from the surgery. And so finally, I had to kind of take a break from working out. And this year, I decided to, instead of trying to do this on my own, I went to my doctor and told him that I wanted a script to go to physical therapy, and they can maybe help me, reset the habits that I need, and also work with me from where I am with the muscle atrophy to get me to a better place so I can start working out on my own. And so last month I went and I had an appointment with my doctor. I got the script, and did end up gaining some weight back. It's going to take me a couple of months to get to that healthy weight again. So this is part of my 90-day challenge, is to lose the weight. And once I lose the weight, I've got the script ready to go to physical therapy. I've already made the appointment in November. November 15th is when I'm going to be starting that. So I've already, planned ahead to get back in the gym again. So that's probably the best route that I can take. So that's something that I'm kind of excited about, getting back to the gym.
Mhm. Awesome. Darshan, I love it. Amazing. And he's such an example of, we want that path to our goals to be straight. And it often has bumps in the road, doesn't it? Like, it's not always exactly what we pictured. And Darshan is such an amazing example of not letting those bumps in the road, if you will, keep him from what he truly wants. So that's exciting, Darshan. You're going to have to keep us updated when you're back in the gym. Amazing. Anybody else? You guys, these are so good. I love this.
So for me, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I started doing the life book. And for the show up, I wanted to, I had finished it. And so for the show up, I thought, okay, I'm going to spend 10 minutes and do it again. And, toward the beginning, it talks about your current reality. And it was really, really cool to see the changes, not so much physically, but in my healthy mind of where I am. And it was really cool to see. I hadn't really reflected on all that progress in a year and a half.
Oh, that's amazing, Natalie. And I love how I don't know if you said this in your first experience of reading the life book, but I love how she just set that micro goal of like, I'm just going to read for 10 minutes and how sustainable that is. That's what I found to really work for me too when I'm digging into my life book. I love that. And just being able to go back and see, oh my goodness, I've made so much progress, especially in that healthy mind. Amazing. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
Hey, Mejken, I can share.
Hey, Luann, go for it.
I think my experience is similar to a lot of people on here, but something that's exciting for me is Wednesday is my 3-year anniversary of first reaching out and calling my coach and starting Optavia. And, you know, I was so focused on just the scale. That's all I cared about. But now 3 years later, I can see that my mindset is so much better. And I just recently went and visited my grandkids and my daughter, and they opened up a new crumble cookie right by her house. And I'm like, oh no, death. But out here, I live within 5 minutes of 2 crumble cookies, but I don't go to it. That's just a decision I made. But while we were out there, we went 3 times to crumble cookie in a week. And you know what? I came home and I thought, you know what? I'm okay with that because it was my decision. And, I've been on maintenance for quite a while. And I embraced the decision. It was my decision to eat those crumble cookies. And I didn't get down on myself. But you know what? I got back a few days ago and I'm right back on program, eating healthy again. And I'm already down 1 of the pounds. So, for me, I think that's huge that I did not get down on myself. I was not self-loathing, just going whole hog. I had my feelings with me. And when I did have the cookie, I'm like, okay, I gotta be good. I'm just gonna have a feeling, for night. But anyway, that was huge for me, is to not just totally go off. And I embraced my decision and I was okay with it.
Yeah, those crumble cookies, they're hard to resist, Luann. Yeah, I love that. That's a huge mindset shift when you can really indulge or enjoy and not let it ruin the rest of your day. Amazing. And just, I think ultimately that's the goal, right? We want to enjoy some of those pleasures every once in a while, but do it within reason. And so I love that you shared that and that you feel like in the last 3 years, your mindset has really shifted. You guys, thank you so much. I don't know about you, this might just be me, but I feel so uplifted after these calls the last couple of weeks that we've just been able to share our wins. And so we're going to wrap up, but I wanted to say thank you so much for being here and for listening in and being willing to share, and good luck this week on your goals. And we'll see everybody later.